Hi guys, Kurt Provost here, your guide to all things new skin. This isn't necessarily new skin related, however it's helpful for those who are building a business and those who want to live a good life in general. And so I want to introduce you to someone who has helped me immensely within my life and is helping me again. I have kind of rediscovered his work at a point when I'm feeling a little bit like a ship cast adrift without any sails, just bobbing around, caught by the tides, caught by the waves, caught by the strong winds or the storms that may gust and blow by. I don't have a strong sense of direction and purpose, and so whenever I've felt like that in my life, I have turned to this book. It is an old book. It's sticky taped. It's not all that pretty anymore. It's fading. It's torn. It's underlined, and it's absolutely brilliant. It's usually the books that are most worn that are most worth reading. This book is The Greatest Secret in the World by a man called Og Mandino. Now, Og is no longer alive. He's no longer with us. However, his words and his thoughts are still with us thanks to the books that he wrote. He wrote The Greatest Salesman in the World, The Greatest Secret in the World, and a number of other books that are really worth reading. He also provided some lectures. He did a lot of lectures, but things weren't readily recorded when he was touring the US and the world. There are some that are available on YouTube. If you just type in Og Mandino, I'm sure you'll be able to find them. Really fantastic storyteller. I love the stories that he shares. And I guess the best story is his own life, and that's how I'm going to introduce him to you. And then I'm going to dive into the first scroll that is in this because, man, it's really helping me. It's only been a week of reading this scroll, and I feel like my life is getting ordered and moving in the right direction in a very short space of time. And so I encourage for anyone out there who is feeling directionless or a bit lost or a bit overwhelmed at the moment with the way the world is and the chaos and the strife and the fear that has been fed into us, I think this is a fantastic remedy for that, an antidote for it. So Og Mandino shares his story of how he transformed his life, because he was actually homeless. He was living on the streets, and one night he was trying to escape the rain, and he was sheltering underneath the eaves of a store, and that store was actually a pawn shop, so they were selling secondhand goods and things like that. And in the window of that store was a pistol, and it had a price tag on there that I think was $25 or $29, something like this. It was a cheap pistol. And Og pulled out of his pocket 3 wet $10 notes. That was all that he had left to his name, $30. And he thought, okay, when the store opens, I'll buy that gun, I'll get a couple of bullets, I'll go back to the little hollows that I'm using as my home, and I'll blow my brains out and end this sorry, sad story that is my life. Because you see, he had a family, he had a wife, he had a career, he had all those things. And then through bad habits and the slippery slope of alcohol and abuse, he lost those things and he found himself at rock bottom. But you know what? He didn't go back that next morning because he found himself just trying to get warm in a library, and he discovered a certain section of that library that covers psychology, self-help, philosophy, biographies. He said, you know what, that transformed my life because I realized that I could interact with the greatest people of all time. They had poured out their wisdom. People from 2,000 years ago, you can still read today. In fact, I have Seneca's letters from a Stoic on my desk right now, and that was written over 2,000 years ago, and I get to interact with that person's mind today. That's an incredible thing. And so he discovered that, And slowly, with time and effort, interacting with those different minds, he transformed his life. And I find that story absolutely astounding because he went on to found a magazine, be the chief editor. He went on to write these books that have sold hundreds of thousands and ultimately millions of copies around the world and have transformed people's lives. So I get so much hope from Og Mandino. And whenever I feel like I'm having a rough time, I just think about him. I think about the shitstorm that he turned around and transformed into a magnificent and beautiful life. And I think the principles that he instills within this book are exactly the ones that he used to transform his own life. And so it's possible to transform yours too. So I'm going to read out the first scroll because I think it's a particularly powerful one. Every single scroll is brilliant in this book. However, this is the first one and it does set the scene. So it'll probably take 10 minutes or so. Have a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and let me know if these words mean anything for you. So the scroll marked 1. Today I begin a new life. Today I shed my old skin which hath too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew and my birthplace is a vineyard where there is fruit for all. Today I will pluck grapes of wisdom from the tallest and fullest vines in the vineyard, for these were planted by the wisest of my profession, who have come before me, generation upon generation. Today I will savour the taste of grapes from these vines, and verily I will swallow the seed of success buried in each, and new life will sprout within me. The career I have chosen is laden with opportunity, yet it is fraught with heartbreak and despair, and the bodies of those who have failed, were they piled one atop another, would cast its shadow down upon all the pyramids of the earth. And yet I will not fail, as the others. For in my hands I now hold the charts which will guide me through perilous waters to shores which only yesterday seemed but a dream. Failure no longer will be my payment for struggle. Just as nature made no provision for my body to tolerate pain, neither has it made any provision for my life to suffer failure. Failure, like pain, is alien to my life. In the past I accepted it as I accepted pain, and now I reject it, and I am prepared for wisdom and principles which will guide me out of the shadows into the sunlight of wealth, position, and happiness, far beyond my most extravagant dreams, until even the golden apples in the garden of Hesperides will seem no more than my just reward. Time teaches all things to he who lives forever, but I have not the luxury of eternity. Yet within my allotted time I must practice the art of patience, for nature acts never in haste. To create the olive, king of all trees, 100 years is required. An onion plant is old in 9 weeks. I have lived as an onion plant. It has not pleased me. Now I would become the greatest of olive trees, and, in truth, the greatest of salesmen. And how will this be accomplished? For I have neither the knowledge nor the experience to achieve greatness, and already I have stumbled in ignorance and fallen into pools of self-pity. The answer is simple. I will commence my journey unencumbered with either the weight of unnecessary knowledge or the handicap of meaningless experience. Nature already has supplied me with knowledge and instinct far greater than any beast in the forest, and the value of experience is overrated, usually by old men who nod wisely and speak stupidly. In truth, experience teaches thoroughly, yet her course of instruction devours men's years, so the value of her lessons diminishes with the time necessary to acquire her special wisdom. The end finds it wasted on dead men. Furthermore, experience is comparable to fashion. An action that proved successful today will be unworkable and impractical tomorrow. Only principles endure, and these I now possess, for the laws that will lead me to greatness are contained in the words of these scrolls. What they will teach me is more to prevent failure than to gain success. For what is success other than a state of mind? Which two among 1,000 wise men will define success in the same words? Yet failure is always described but one way. Failure is man's inability to reach his goals in life, whatever they may be. In truth, the only difference between those who have failed and those who have succeeded lies in the difference of their habits. Good habits are the key to all success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Thus, the first law I will obey, which precedeth all others, is, I will form good habits and become their slaves. As a child, I was a slave to my impulses. Now I am a slave to my habits as a grown man, as are all grown men. I have surrendered my free will to the years of accumulated habits, and the past deeds of my life have already marked out a path which threatens to imprison my future. My actions are ruled by appetite, passion, prejudice, greed, love, fear, and environment, and habit. The worst of these tyrants is habit. Therefore, if I must be a slave to habit, let me be a slave to good habits. My bad habits must be destroyed and new furrows prepared for good seed. I will form good habits and become their slaves. And how will I accomplish this difficult feat? Through these scrolls, it will be done. For each scroll contains a principle which will drive a bad habit from my life and replace it with one which will bring me closer to success. For it is another of nature's laws that only a habit can subdue another habit. So, in order for these written words to perform their chosen task, I must discipline myself with the first of my new habits, which is as follows. I will read each scroll for 30 days in this prescribed manner, before I proceed to the next scroll. First, I will read the words in silence when I arise. Then, I will read the words in silence after I have partaken of my midday meal. Last, I will read the words again just before I retire at day's end. And most important, on this occasion, I will read the words aloud. On the next day, I will repeat the procedure, and I will continue in like manner for 30 days. Then I will turn to the next scroll and repeat the procedure for another 30 days. I will continue in this manner until I have lived with each scroll for 30 days and my reading has become habit. And what will be accomplished with this habit? Herein lies the hidden secret of man's accomplishments. As I repeat the words daily, they will soon become a part of my active mind. But more important, they will also seep into my other mind, that mysterious source which never sleeps, which creates my dreams, and often makes me act in ways I do not comprehend. As the words of these scrolls are consumed by my mysterious mind, I will begin to awake each morning with a vitality I have never known before. My vigor will increase, my enthusiasm will rise, my desire to meet the world will overcome every fear I once knew at sunrise. And I will be happier than I ever believed it possible to be in this world of strife and sorrow. Eventually, I will find myself reacting to all situations which confront me as I was commanded in the scrolls to react. And as soon as these actions and reactions will become easy to perform, for any act with practice becomes easy. Thus, a new and good habit is born. For when an act becomes easy through constant repetition, it becomes a pleasure to perform. And if it is a pleasure to perform, it is man's nature to perform it often. When I perform it often, it becomes a habit, and I become its slave, and since it is a good habit, this is my will. Today, I begin a new life. And I make a solemn oath to myself that nothing will retard my new life's growth. I will lose not a day from these readings, for that day cannot be retrieved, nor can I substitute it for another. I must not, I will not break this habit of daily reading from these scrolls, and in truth, the few moments spent each day on this new habit are but a small price to pay for the happiness and success that will be mine. As I read and reread the words in the scrolls to follow, never will I allow the brevity of each scroll, nor the simplicity of its words to cause me to treat the scroll's message lightly. Thousands of grapes are pressed to fill one jar with wine, and the grape skin and pulp are tossed to the birds. So it is with these grapes of wisdom from the ages. Much has been filtered and tossed to the wind. Only the pure truth lies distilled in the words to come. I will drink as instructed and spill not a drop, and the seed of success I will swallow. Today my old skin has become as dust. I will walk tall among men, and they will know me not. For today I am a new man with a new life. That is the scroll marked 1. There goes on to be, I believe, 10 more scrolls like that, or at least 10 scrolls. And they cover a whole range of different topics, but the overarching idea as laid out in the first scroll is to replace a bad habit with a better habit. And as you do that, and that's why the repetition is important and the length of time that it takes to actually read this book, because you don't read it like a normal book where you just speed straight through. You spend at least a month on each scroll. So this book will take you a year to read. But that will be a year that will transform your life if you commit to actually seeing it through. Very much like this business, and that is why I highly recommend this book for anyone who wishes to build a new skin business, because the principles that are contained within this book are essential for building and mastering not only this business, but your life in general. So that is it for today, guys. I'm really curious. Did you enjoy that? Would you like me to continue reading out the scrolls? It's as much for me as it is for you, because I get a lot of benefit from reading these out loud and trying to speak with conviction. It further cements it within me. Mandino is was a truly incredible man, and I am so grateful that he existed on this planet and that we still have access to his incredible legacy. So go out there and make the most of his work that you can find. If you like this, please like the video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications for more videos like this. I'm not sure if I'll create more videos like this. It's a little different to what I normally create. But let me know in the comments if you would like to hear more like this, or if not, just say, no, give me more product stuff, Kurt. Less of this. Do that in your own private time. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.